Hello everybody, I'm Razorblade Mango, and so, Gamescom begins today. Woo! I always I always love it when conferences come around like this. It's one of the things that gets me the most excited about this industry, and I know there's a lot of cynicism behind conferences. I know a lot of people criticize them for being just glorified hype, and I can agree with that. I've definitely seen it go horribly wrong, but I love it anyway, just because it gets me excited. The thought of seeing new things gets me excited. And E3, of course, the Mac Daddy of all of that. And I thought this year's E3 was amazing. That was probably the best I've ever seen. Not probably, the best I've ever seen. So I was excited to see what Gamescom was going to bring. And like Microsoft said, some games that they didn't show E3 that they were going to show here at Gamescom. And indeed they did. And I think the best way I can describe this conference is say this. As soon as it ended, I rushed over to my local GameStop and pre-ordered that Halo 5 Xbox One bundle. So that's right, it's official. Razorblade Mango is getting an Xbox One. Not until late October, of course, but I'm going to be getting one. Which is really odd to say out loud. I mean, it's cool to think about in your head, but to say it out loud, I am getting an Xbox One. Seriously. And not just saying it out of, I plan on it. No, I am getting one this year. So, yeah. So you're going to be seeing more Xbox content on this channel. Of course, I'm going to be talking about stuff like Halo, because that's what it's going to come with. I'm going to talk about Halo. I'm going to talk about Cuphead when that comes out, because I'm really, really excited for that. That's probably the main reason why I'm buying an Xbox One. No, I don't want to upgrade my PC right now. I'd rather just get an Xbox One, because they got exclusives on there as well that I really want. So yeah, there we go. So unlike a lot of conferences in the past that I feel like meandered around, were just and we're even rewatching Xbox's conference from last year from Gamescom, they still didn't quite get the pacing right, but this conference this year was really solid. It was just bam, especially in the beginning. It was bam, 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 info, new stuff. And it was really cool. And it made that hour and 40 minutes fly by really quickly. I when I looked at my phone to see what time it was, like about halfway through, I was shocked that they had packed so much into an hour, and there was still like at least 30 or 40 or 50 minutes to go. So let's get started. I'm going to go in chronological order because it's the easiest to do. I actually wrote everything down that they showed on my phone, and it's all in chronological order. So for the sake of convenience, I'm going to be doing that. So, first off, they showed Quantum Break, which is a game that has been in development for a while now. Of course, it's from Remedy, the guys that did Alan Wake. Never played Alan Wake, and now that I'm getting Xbox One, hopefully it's going to be one of the games that's backwards compatible on there, and I'll pick it up, because I've been curious to see what all the hype is about, because I've heard lots of good things about it. And from what I can tell, Quantum Break seems interesting. I wasn't really blown away by either Gamescom demonstration from this year and last year, but it looked good. It looked really good. It looked like something that along the line, if I hear like really good things about it, I'll pick it up when it's at a discounted price. It looks interesting, and it's one of those exclusives that seem to be, seems like it has the potential to be a so-called Xbox classic, I guess. If they can get it right, if they can get the time thing right, if they can do more interesting things with it, you can have that. And weirdly enough, they talked quite a bit about television in this conference, but this time it was okay. I was fine with them talking about TV, because they haven't done that in a while. I mean, I know they may have done like one-off mentions of it on like their blog or something, but they've never really dedicated a section to talking about television until now. So I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it dragged on very long. So there's going to be a Quantum Break game, and there's going to be, they called it an in-game television show, and it's the same cast from the game. It's going to be in the TV show, and the TV show actually looked good. It looked like it looked like it had a decent budget behind it. It didn't look like shit like Powers did as far as the visuals go. Or like Powers was just terrible. I thought that was just such a bad first outing for Sony when it came to TV. But as far as original programming goes on the Xbox, this looks interesting. The Quantum Break thing, and I don't know if they're going to have that show air off of Quantum Break, or if it's going to be something like a bonus feature inside Quantum Break. Maybe something like episodes you unlock after you complete a certain portion of the game. Which, they're trying something new in that department, but, it should be interesting. And that's going to be coming out only on Xbox One, April 5th, 2016. So we have a date for it now. It's no more of this, well, it's coming out this year. Oh, never mind, it's coming out next year. Oh, never mind, it's coming out next year. April 5th, 2016. That's when it's coming out. And I apologize if you hear a whirring sound in the background. That's my air conditioning kick in, because if I don't have it on, I'm gonna have a fucking heat stroke in here. It's hot as hell today. So, and then they moved on to Crackdown 3, which I must admit I'm not really digging the visual design of it. I think it looks really gray and flat and somewhat, from a color standpoint, really ugly. I just did not like the color palette that they went with. I loved the design of that CGI trailer that they showed back in 2014. And again, this is just a show you can't really rely on CGI trailers. You can't really rely on CGI trailers for an accurate representation of what the game is going to be like. But that trailer had a lot of greens and bright blues and all these like really nice looking colors. I mean, it looked great from a visual standpoint. And the footage that they showed a kind of a behind the scenes thing, which already I went, ugh. So it just visually it did not wow me. I was actually kind of put off by it a little bit. And even the gameplay doesn't really seem to be that... I need to hear more specifics, but from what I could tell from that little bit of footage they showed, it doesn't really seem to be that different from the first Crackdown. Or I didn't play the second one, but... Oh, no, wait, I did. It was crap. It doesn't really seem to have that much difference from the first or second one, which is disappointing. I was hoping for something more next-gen-ish. Doesn't really have that, except in one area. In the multiplayer mode, all the environments are 100% destructible, which is something I've wanted out of an open-world game for a long time. So to see it finally in a game where you could just run around and destroy buildings that like topple skyscrapers, that looks awesome. So if I hear really good things about it, that will be one of the reasons why I'd want to pick it up, just for fully destructible environments. And then they moved on to Scalebound, which is another one of those games that they showed off last year at E3. And we finally got our first... Oh, Crackdown 3 is coming next year. Sorry. And now Scalebound. Scalebound is from Platinum Games, who of course did Bayonetta. They're doing... they did the... what the fuck is it called? Damn, I'm blanking on it. But whatever. They have a pretty good pedigree with them. They're known for their flashy visuals, flashy combat, and that doesn't seem to be any different in Scalebound, which is very flashy, very kind of a punkish attitude, kind of like Devil May Cry, but with dragons in a way. I guess that's a fair comparison. It looks a lot like Devil May Cry, but with dragons. So they showed that, and thankfully, I heard this report some time ago that it was going to be an MMO, and I went, oh, I don't want an MMO. I want this to be something like a single-player campaign, something like that. And that seems to be the case. There is a single-player campaign, and it looks all right. It doesn't look too shabby. The graphics took, oh my god, the graphics took a pounding because of that frame rate. If you were watching the live stream, it kept stuttering every time something like huge would happen. Like if a dragon hit another dragon, the frame rate would plummet. And that's not to say, of course, they have until holiday 2016 to get it all straightened out. And they easily could. But as of right now, yeah, it does not look, it does not look like the highest quality that could possibly be, but it looks decent. I don't know if it's one of the games that I'd be like, oh my god, I need to buy an Xbox One for this, but, well, it's not. But I'd be curious to check it out, because Platinum Games is a studio that I like quite a bit, and yeah, and of course they announced a multiplayer mode, 4-player co-op, so you and 3 other people. I don't know if this extends to the campaign, or if this is its own separate online multiplayer mode. I think it's its own mode, but we'll see. So yeah, that's going to be coming out holiday 2016. Looks alright. Nothing that really blew me away, but, it impressed me. It has a whole year to win me over. And then they started moving on to some of the accessories. So we get into the DVR functionality, which is going to be a full-feature DVR thing, which is cool. I mean, for people that like that sort of thing, this is, I guess it's a long-requested feature for them, and it's finally happening. The Xbox One is gonna get its own chat pad, which I was pretty meh about, because I never really I'll just use the chat thing that's inside the system. I don't need its own little chat thing to connect to my PS4 or my Xbox One. One of the things that I really liked about this, and I said this, I was talking to a friend about it, as far as backwards compatibility goes, if there's one area that the Xbox One is just burying PlayStation in, it's backwards compatibility. Because, they didn't need to do this, okay? They did not need, and I know it's a big technical undertaking to add a backwards compatibility system within a next-gen console, but they didn't have to do it. But the fact that they did it, and it's native backwards compatibility, and it's free, that's pretty awesome. PlayStation is still doing that fucking PlayStation Now shit, which is really not doing all that well, and people really don't care about it. And now that the Xbox is getting rid of that, and I heard a rumor a long time ago that they were starting their own streaming thing, but I think they wisened up and were like, hey, why don't we get the upper leg on Sony and get actual backwards compatibility on this system? So they're going to do that. And one of the cool things is the Games for Gold program. So the Xbox 360 games that you get in that are going to be backwards compatible in the Xbox One. So if you get it on the 360, you're going to be able to play it on the Xbox One, which is really, really cool for people that have both systems. Or, I don't know, maybe you don't even need the Xbox 360 to do that. Maybe you can just get it through the One on there. That's pretty cool, and they're also adding value to it by having Xbox 360 games come with some of the upcoming titles. Like you got Fallout, the Xbox One edition of Fallout 4 is going to be coming with Fallout 3 for 360. That, of course, you can play on the Xbox One, which that adds value. Now, I was originally planning on getting, if I didn't get an Xbox One by the time Fallout 4 came out, I would get it on the PlayStation 4. But now, I'm most likely going to be getting it on the Xbox One, because I'll get Fallout 3 as well. I mean, I have New Vegas, and I haven't played 3 in a while, so I'm definitely going to be doing that. I think Rainbow Six Siege, which I'll talk about later, is going to be coming with Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 in there for the 360, which that adds value as well. That's a really cool idea. So these are ways that add value to their system. It's not locking off content or taking this, which they're doing as well, of course. Taking the digital content, they're taking, oh, we're going to have a pre-order, an exclusive beta over here. No, they're actually adding full-on games as an and it's not a pre-order incentive. At least I don't think it's a pre-order incentive. They're actually having the games. Shit. Sorry. They're actually having the games come with the game. So you're going to be getting like 3 games for the price of 1, and it's going to be compatible on one system. You can't beat that. And unless PlayStation gets with the program and starts doing that as well, they're screwed in that area. And if they keep hanging on to... And I know they invested tons of money into that Gaikai system to make it for the PlayStation Now. But guys, it's not working. It's really not working. And Microsoft has you beat every single area when it comes to backwards compatibility. Alright, moving on. And it's coming out in November for backwards compatibility. It's not going to be Christmas time like I thought it was going to be. It's going to be November. So it's a firmware update. Really excited to try that out. There you go. Now, Killer Instinct Season 3. I never really cared about Killer Instinct all that much. That's going to be coming out March 2016. I might check it out now that I'm getting an Xbox One if the prices drops or if it goes on sale. So they're going to have Rash from Battletoads being Killer Instinct. That's really cool. That's the kind of guest character that I like to see. Not this like guest character from like a character that actually talks, somebody that has a distinct personality. And I think this honestly is a better, more interesting guest character than anything that Mortal Kombat X has done so far. So yeah, if I get Killer Instinct, I'm gonna be really excited to try out Rash and that. I think there's another one that I really like. This like Japanese ghost thing that was in Killer Instinct. I think it was in the second season is when they did it. So I'll get it, just not full price, and I'll have to see how much Season 3 is going to be. So, moving right along. Next, we've got Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, which of course is Iga's Kickstarter, very, very successful Kickstarter, and it's a spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'm really worried about Kickstarter projects now. I was going to do a video about the whole Red Ash controversy, because I was really, really irritated by that, but Jim Sterling did one that perfectly summed up all my thoughts, so I would just be regurgitating everything he said. Go check that video out on Jim Sterling's channel. It's fucking awesome, and I agree with everything that he says. But if all goes well, this could be really good. It seems to be on the right track so far, but then again, so was Mighty Number 9, and look what happened with that. So, and the big news, the reason why he was there is that Iga announced that there's going to be crossplay between the Xbox One and PC version, which is really cool. I don't know if it's cross-buy, so I don't think he mentioned cross-buy. Let me know if he did, or please correct me. But the I like that crossplay is starting to become a thing this generation, because the systems are getting more powerful. So we're going to be having that. And he also announced a new character, which we know nothing about, except I guess his story takes place before the events of Bloodstained. So that wasn't really, like hugely significant. I was worried for a second that they were going to be like, oh, it's only coming on Xbox One for a whole year. I would have gone, what? No, I don't like that when it comes to any project. But again, I guess I'm more accepting of it when it comes to these Kickstarter indie games. We'll see. And then the guy that made Monkey Island, one of the big guys behind Monkey Island, came out with his Kickstarter. It's going to be first on Xbox One and PC. It's called Thimbleweed Park. Did not really strike me as anything I'd be interested in. I'm not a big point-and-click person, unless if you want to consider the Telltale games point-and-click these days. I guess I'm a fan of that, but nothing else really. And then they talked about the Xbox game preview, which is something that I am still really, really nervous about, and I don't like that they're going to have some kind of early access. We see how fucked up early access is on Steam. I'm just not really excited. I can't get excited for it when it's just gotten so shitty on Steam. But I give them credit that Xbox is forcing them to have characters. It's like, look, you need to come up with a demo if you want to have your game on here. It's just that simple. You have to, or we won't allow it. So I like that. But then again, that can go wrong as well, because the demos could lie, the demos could be total fakes, and then you're stuck with a shitty game that you don't give a crap about. So that sucks. And they announced that Ark, which is something I've gotten questions about if I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. I'm not sure, again, if I'd buy it day one, but it looks interesting. And then they went on to talk about one of the big highlights for me of this conference was We Happy Few, which is a Kickstarter that I followed with great interest. I'm not really a big procedural generation person. I'm not really crazy about games that procedurally generate. Like, that's why I've never really I can never really get into stuff like Rogue Legacy or The Binding of Isaac, stuff like that. But this thing looks fucking awesome and really fucking creepy. If you've seen the trailer and it talks about London Bridge is falling down, and it shows those creepy masks, and there's one mask particularly at the end that looks like V for Vendetta or the Anonymous logo, and that shit just creeps me out. There's very few things that get under my skin, but that's one, like, that kind of shit in there, that creeped me the fuck out. And I was like, oh my god, just looking at those masks. So this is, and it's coming first to PC and Xbox One, so that'll be one of the games that I cover. I think next year is when it comes out, or next year, or 2017, one of the two. It's going to come out sometime in the future, and I will be covering for it on Xbox One, because that's when it's coming out first on. And it looked really cool. I mean, go watch the trailer. It is one of the better trailers I saw at Gamescom. It was fucking creepy as hell, guys. I cannot stress how fucking creepy it was. You have to see it for yourself. And then Square Enix moved on to a tech demo. It was a tech demo showcasing the power of Windows 10. Hooray. Whatever. They talked a lot about Windows 10 this conference, which I understand is good for their business because it just released. I haven't really been keeping up on how people have received it so far. I mean, if you're using it, please let me know how it is. So that part didn't really interest me. And then they talked about how there's going to be a Minecraft Windows 10 beta. Blah, 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 blah. Don't care. There's going to be another game from Mojang called Cobalt. I think it's from Mojang. It's an Xbox exclusive. Didn't look particularly interesting. I'm so tired of Minecraft at this point. I'm sorry. I know there are a lot of Minecraft fans out there, but I just don't get it. I just don't get the appeal of Minecraft. To me, every time I try to get into it, it is the most boring thing I have ever played. It is boring, and I just can't do it. I would never get Minecraft for Xbox. I don't care how. I don't even care if they give it to me for free. I'd never play it. I never would. It doesn't interest me. I'm sorry. And I know there are a lot of fans out there. It's just not for me. I just didn't really care about a Windows 10 beta for Minecraft. And then, okay, the highlight of the conference for me was this. Dark Souls 3. Holy fucking shit. And I know I've said in the past that I am not a big Dark Souls person. I'm not even a big Demon Souls person. But, you know, I love Bloodborne. I took a hiatus from Bloodborne, and I've recently started getting back into it. And, goddamn, Menace Nightmare level. Fuck, I hate that part. But I love Bloodborne. I still think it's one of the best games of the year. I'm drooling to get my hand. Fucking drooling it from the mouth to find out more info on the expansion that's going to come out for it. And when they announced Dark Souls 3 at E3 this year, yeah, the trailer was interesting. It was creepy. It was unsettling. It had great music behind it. looked good. The creature design, of course, is stellar. I'm just not a big Dark Souls guy. I don't like the combat. I'm not... When it comes to video gaming, I'm not a defense person. I like the more aggressive, much more aggressive offensive-based stuff from Bloodborne. That is something I can really get into and have. But what I saw from Dark Souls 3 blew me the fuck away. It looked... Well, first of all, it looked gorgeous. It looked amazing. Of course, the creature design... I could go on and on and on about how good it looks. But again, looks amazing. The music, amazing. Just the general environments and atmosphere to the whole thing, amazing. The combat itself is the one thing I was keeping an eye out for, because I was seeing if it was going to be another kind of staged trailer, like a CGI one. But no, they showed actual gameplay. And it looks a lot faster and more offensive based than what I've seen from previous Dark Souls and Demon Souls as well. And yes, there's still the shield, and yes, it's still a lot of the medieval fantasy thing. But it, from what I could see, it takes a lot of inspiration from Bloodborne. A lot. Like, a little bit of the combat is there. I can definitely see some of the aggression from Bloodborne's combat. I can see a lot of the gothic environment, atmosphere thing that they did so well in Bloodborne kind of seep into Dark Souls 3. And the monster, the boss design, the bosses that they showed looked... Holy fuck. I want to fight these guys and die and over and over again, get my ass kicked by these guys, and then finally win. Because it looks great. It looks like a great game. I'm excited to check it out. I need to see more of it for it to drive home, for me to go, yes, day one purchase for me. So, and as I always say, we'll see. But yeah, that was definitely the highlight. I've been playing that trailer non-stop ever since they put it up on the Xbox YouTube channel. It looks incredible. And then they moved on to Homefront: The Revolution with an interesting CGI trailer. It was more of a tone setter than actual gameplay. And I was scared it was just going to be that, because we haven't seen this game in a while. And I know they announced it quite a while back, and we haven't heard much about it. And now that that was a surprise, because I didn't expect to see it there. And when that trailer started up, I wondered, what the fuck is this? And then they talked about how the Korean overlords are, and I'm like, oh, it's Homefront. Okay. And it looked decent from the gameplay that they showed. I didn't really care for the first one all that much, but I'm always open to trying out the sequel, especially if they improve it. Then they moved on to FIFA 16, which, like I've said before, I'm a new FIFA fan now. I'm really excited for FIFA 16. And it made me laugh how, over the top this presentation was. Not over the top in kind of a spectacle way, but just how loud it was. That's just the way the guy just like went on and on and on about it, and how the music was like dun 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 football dun 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 football dun 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 football dun dun, and it was, you have to watch it. It was kind of fun. It was kind of half funny, half awkward the way they did it. They just were like, football, 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 yeah, 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 football, football, football. And there's going to be exclusive content on the Xbox One, of course, because EA does that with the sports licenses on Xbox. I'm still going to be getting on PS4. And I like that, there's lots of legends in this one. I don't know if the legends that they talked about were Xbox exclusive ones. I'm pretty sure they were, but if they're not, that's cool, because then I'll get to play it as well, because I won't have an Xbox One by the time FIFA comes out. And they announced a FIFA edition of the game. It's going to be, 1 terabyte with FIFA, the Ultimate Edition in it. I don't know if it's going to be sold in America. I don't think it's going to be, but if it is, let me know. And of course it's going to be available in Europe. and that because of course Gamescom, if you don't know, is located in Germany. It's in Europe. So yeah, FIFA 16, and it's weirdly over the top, hyper demonstration. And then they went on to Halo 5. And they went on and on and on and on and on about the multiplayer. And I mean, I'm getting Halo 5 with that bundle, no question. And I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be playing the multiplayer. But I just couldn't bring myself to care. I was just thinking, yeah, I mean, it looks cool, I guess, but it's just, am I really gonna be playing this over and over again? And it depends on how much variety they bring into the gameplay with the multiplayer modes, because all I've been hearing about is Warzone, and now now they did the Coliseum, I think it's called the Coliseum. But yeah, it just didn't really interest me. I'm still getting the game, and I'm still going to be playing it, but it's not one of those games that if I didn't have an Xbox One, if I wasn't going to get an Xbox One anyway, I would go, yeah, I'll buy it. What the fuck? Why not? So, there's that. And of course they announced the super limited bundle. $500 comes with, it's the one I'm going to be getting, comes with the Halo, really nice looking Halo console too. Custom design, custom console, custom controller. Comes with the digital stuff for Halo 5. Comes with a digital edition of it. Comes with one of the animated series, I think, with it. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if it's a disc or a digital download for the animated series, but I know it's a digital download for the game, which is really odd because they're giving us a steel case. So I can fit my steel case on my shelf with nothing in it and get a digital I put my digital download code in the steel case. That's one of the things I'm not really liking about new console bundles, that they're giving us steel cases, and yet they're like, oh, well, here's a fucking digital code. It's like, guys, you give me a steel case because there's an actual disc that comes with it. Don't do the shit where you're going to give me a steel case and give me a digital copy. But I think they announced for that that really super limited edition of the game, that one that's like $250 or something crazy like that, it was going to come with a digital code, but they were trying to find a way to where you could exchange that for a physical copy. I hope they do something like this for the bundle, because I'd rather have the disc. I would take the disc any day of the week over a digital code, because I like it. I just like having a physical library. I don't really... I mean, yeah, some games I have to take the digital copies, either because they're free or because it's a digital release only. And a lot of games these days are digital only releases. But when I get something, limited, I want a disc. I don't want a digital code. I want a disc. So please stop doing that. Please give us more discs, especially if you're going to give us a steel case, which... Putting a digital code in a steel case, to me, is just a waste of resources and a waste of time, waste of money. Anyway, moving right along from there, they next started talking about Just Cause 3. And they showed a little trailer for it. Looks awesome. Really looking forward to it. Doesn't seem to be anything exclusive on either console for it, so I'm happy about that. So I'll most likely pick it up on the PS4. And then they went into Forza 6, which I didn't care. God, I'm yawning just thinking about it. Sorry guys, I don't like Forza. I don't like cars. I don't care about cars. A racing game is one of the last genres I would ever play. It just doesn't interest me. And I really wasn't feeling it from the presentation that they showed. And then they went on to Rainbow Six, which looked okay from the trailer they showed. It was a really brief little thing. Didn't really pique my curiosity. I got the code for the beta for it thanks to a hookup, but I'm not really excited for it. I'm still butthurt over the fact that they canceled Rainbow Six Patriots for this. Yeah, I am pretty butthurt about it. Even though it's been almost 2 years since they canceled it. Or no, it's been over a year since they canceled it. But I'm still like, ugh, goddamn it, Ubisoft. Why? Why, goddammit? Why? And then they talked about what I thought was a decent closer for the show. They talked about Rise of the Tomb Raider, which, again, guys, is not an Xbox One exclusive. Let me repeat again. It is not an Xbox One exclusive. It's on the 360 as well. And even then, it's a timed exclusive. It's going to be on PC early next year, and it's going to be on PS4 and PS3 next Christmas, or next November, whenever the fuck they decide to release it for the PS4. And even though, I said this again in one of my last videos, even though I'm getting an Xbox One, I am not buying Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm sorry. I refuse to support that. At least as far as... I don't even know if I'd buy a used copy of it. I probably wouldn't even buy a new copy of it when it came out on the PS4. I would wait until it was a I don't know, some kind of fucking used copy for the PS4 or something like that. Because I don't want them to have my money. I don't support this bullshit that they pulled. So, yeah. But you can hear all about my rant about that in the I Hate Timed Exclusivity video that I did. So, excuse me. But I honestly wasn't all that impressed with the footage that they showed at E3. And I said that I'm still excited for the game because I love the last one. And I know it's a controversial opinion, but I think it's better than any of the Uncharted games. And I love Uncharted, don't get me wrong. But I wasn't really feeling it from the other ones that I saw, the footage that I'd seen it up until this point. I was just like, meh, doesn't really look all that great. Now the footage that they showed here, where Lara Croft is like this assassin killer thing, it looked pretty badass. I must admit, just the way she moves around the environment, how it looks, how it feels, how the enemies interact with Lara and one another, it looks really cool. And that was the kind of gameplay that I'd been asking for from the beginning, because it looked fun. It looked like a lot of fun. And oddly enough, it seemed to be taking a little cue from Uncharted 4 with the whole stealth thing that they're kind of enforcing now in Tomb Raider. I mean, of course, there's the big combat with the guns and the bow and arrow, but they're adding like an even bigger stealth element to it than I think was present in the last one. And the last one had a pretty decent amount of stealth in it. So that was a nice little way to close out the show as far as gameplay goes. And then when we think it's over, they're like, but we have one more announcement that underscores everything, our first-party commitment. I was like, oh shit, here we go. This is going to be like one of the biggest Xbox One exclusives, like a huge thing they're going to reveal. It's going to come out probably in 2017 because it's just so huge that they're still working on it. Maybe Phantom Dust, maybe something. And it turned out to be Halo Wars 2. And yeah, okay, Halo Wars 2. Didn't really care. I from what I've seen from the first Halo Wars, it does not look like my thing. And honestly, I'm not a big real-time... with some exceptions, I'm not a fan of real-time strategy. So, this did not really... and Creative Assembly, they have a rocky history with their stuff. Of course, they're talking about... of course, they did Alien Isolation last year, which was a reasonable success. And then you got shit like Rome Total War 2, which was an absolute fucking disaster. So, they don't have the best track record as far as stuff goes. But this could be it. And you never know. This could be the game that gets me interested in the Halo Wars franchise. Because I really didn't... And to be fair, I could try it out on the Xbox One with the Xbox 360 disc and really like it and be excited for Halo Wars 2. But as far as something to close out a conference with, it was very underwhelming. And it was just, oh, it's another Halo thing. Okay. Whatever. Cool. Alright. So, that was the Gamescom conference for Xbox. Final thoughts? It was really solid. I really liked a lot of it. It did drag in the middle. I thought the strongest point was the beginning, because that's when they were coming out with their big exclusives for next year. And then they kind of went, well, here's like more third-party stuff. Here's the TV. Here's the Minecraft. Here's the indie stuff. So it was kind of like they switched the order around like they do at the E3 thing. Because E3 is mainly, like last year I know it was games in 2015. Then games in 2016. This time it was more games in 2016, backwards compatibility, indies, third party, first party this year. So we're getting that. And you know, and like I said, this conference, it didn't make me want to go out and buy an Xbox One. It actually got me off of my ass to my local store to pre-order an Xbox One. So they're doing it right, okay? Especially with like the cool amount of exclusives that's going to be coming out, not just this year, but next year, which Sony is really lacking as far as first party stuff this year. I mean, Bloodborne, yeah, amazing. Really not not Bloodborne. The Order is a completely different story. I hear mixed things about Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, but I'm still really looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to be talking about that next week. And Until Dawn, not really feeling it. I mean, it looks okay, but besides that, all they really got as far as first party is Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, which whatever. But next year, hopefully Sony can bring the goods, and next year definitely Microsoft is bringing the goods with like Sea of Thieves and Cuphead and Recore and all this other cool stuff. So yeah, but thumbs up from me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I might make more videos about Gamescom. It depends on if I'm up to watch the EA conference that they do tonight. I know I'm going to be up at 11 my time to watch the when the Final Fantasy 15 trailer comes out. Really looking forward to that. I don't know when they're doing the Horizon Zero Dawn stream, but I'll try to catch that. I'll try to catch if I'm still awake, I'll try to catch the EA thing, but we'll see. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. And I'm also going to be having a stream tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be some GTA 5 single player madness. I'm just going to be going around blowing shit up, just making all kinds of mayhem and trouble. So it should be pretty awesome. So watch that. I'll have the link for my Twitch page there if you want to take a look. So thank you guys for watching, and